Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Derek's Easy Home Cooking. And yesterday we had our first video in which I prepared tomato beef. That's a traditional Chinese American dish, and my heritage, my father is Chinese American and my mother's Japanese American, so I hope to be making dishes that reflect my heritage. And so yesterday I did a Chinese American dish. And so today I will be doing sort of a Japanese American dish, which is showing you all how to make California rolls. And if you've eaten at any sushi bars in America, you will probably know that the California roll is pretty much ubiquitous. It was developed somewhere around the 1960s when a Japanese chef wanted to introduce sushi, but at that time people were quite squeamish about eating raw fish, and so he created a roll which did not use raw ingredients that he hoped would be palatable to American tastes, and I think he was quite successful, as many people enjoy the California roll today. I'm going to show you what we have here first. I just took some rice out of the rice cooker. And this is the Japanese short grain rice, which I use. Long grain rice will not work. This is called koshihikari. It's a varietal from Japan. You can also use cal rose rice, but jasmine rice or long grain rice does not stick enough for the sushi. So let's get started on the rice part first. So the rice is still warm out of the rice cooker, and this is about 1 cup of rice that's been cooked. And I have this sushi su. It's a Japanese mix of vinegar and salt and sugar. And we're going to just add approximately 2 tablespoons of that to, maybe a little less than 2 tablespoons, to this sushi rice. And we're just gonna, you don't want to mash the rice, and you sort of want to just go through. Now this wooden bowl here is called a sushi oke, and the sushi oke absorbs any of the extra vinegar, and that's why it's used when preparing the sushi. Now as we kind of stir the rice around and fold in that vinegar, kind of, one of the things we also have to do is we have to fan the rice, and fanning the rice cools it, and it also gives it a glossy sheen. So it's important to fan the rice as you go along. And usually when I prepare this, I make about 3 or 4 cups of rice, but because of I won't be having anybody to share this with, we will just make about 1 cup of rice, and I'll show you how to make a couple of the rolls. So that's how that works. So we just want to get the rice cooled down and the vinegar incorporated, well incorporated, and that's what will make a successful sushi rice. Now I would like to show you some of the other ingredients that I have for you today. And here we are. We have an avocado. This happens to be grown at our nursery in Carpinteria, Haas avocado. We have Japanese cucumber, and then we have some imitation crab legs. Now, if you wanted to be decadent and a little more extravagant, you could use real crab meat. That would be very delicious, but for our purposes today, we'll be using imitation crab legs. And I'm going to show you how you can prepare that in a couple of different ways. So first, I want to take the cucumber here, and it's been washed already, and I've actually used a little part of it for another recipe. So I'm just going to trim the ends off there, and we will cut it. And now one of the things you'll see, there's a little bit of seed. You might want to remove some of the seeds. You don't want the seeds in this particular recipe. So we'll discard the seeds. And you'll just want to make some nice thin strips that can go into the sushi. So that's how we do that. And I will put more of a detailed recipe in the description of this video so you can have a look at it then. Now let me show you the two different ways that I am going to prepare the imitation crab. And one is just to cut it into strips, and we'll just use these strips in the sushi as is. So that's one of the ways that you can do it. Now, another way that we can do the imitation crab is this. And this is what you may see in some of the restaurants. And so we'll just want to kind of shred it up a little and to fine, so you get the individual strands of the crab meat, and really chop it up. And you can do this in a food processor if you'd like. I'm just going to do it by hand. I'm doing a small amount today. So, just going to gather that up and we'll put it in a little bowl. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of Japanese mayonnaise. This is Kewpie mayonnaise, very popular in Japan. And we'll add just a little bit. I mean, this is one of these little crab legs, maybe a teaspoon or so. And we'll mix it up. And the purpose of the mayonnaise obviously is to give it flavor, but it also acts as a binder. And so you're almost making a little crab salad, as it were. Might need just a little more. And then this crab mixture, as you can see, can be used in your finished California roll. Now the avocado. I'll show how we prepare the avocado. And this is very easy. We just want to go in there. And we twist. And there you have the avocado. And then I just make slices right in the fruit. And then we'll take a little bit of a larger spoon and go right around. Just follow the skin, pop it out, and voila, you have your avocado slices. Now, the avocado you don't want to do too far ahead in advance because that will oxidize and turn brown, and so we don't want that. And so there you have your ingredients as such, ready for the rolling of the sushi. Now, rolling sushi is probably the most difficult part of making this dish, and one of the tools you'll need is the Sudare. That's the bamboo mat, and in this case you have to cover it in plastic wrap. The California roll is what's called uramaki, or kind of a reverse roll. So the rice is on the outside and then the ingredients are on the inside, which is kind of the opposite of traditional sushi. So now we'll show you exactly how this process works. Of course, what we'll need is nori, and this is some real high quality seaweed sheets, Japanese nori, that my girlfriend brought me from Japan. And you can find seaweed sheets in a lot of American supermarkets nowadays as well. Now we're going to take this sheet of nori, and this is normally how you'd roll the sushi, but we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to just fold it over, and so we'll have 2 half sheets of nori, so you only need half a sheet. And when you make sushi, the shiny side is always down. That's important. Shiny side always on the outside. And we will put our sushi right on the mat. Now, I'm going to get some of the rice here. And you have to just kind of eyeball it a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to press the rice down onto the nori. And that may have been a little too much, so if it's a little too much, you can take some away. But you want to cover the whole surface of the nori. That's important. And even a little overlap, because you're going to be rolling it afterwards. So you definitely want to have enough to cover the nori. And you want to press it down. You do not press it down too hard. You want to keep it somewhat loose, because when you roll it, that's when it will get further pressed down. And normally what I neglected to have ready is a little bowl with some water and vinegar, and that will help prevent the sticking of your hands and the rice. So that's important to have ready. We have some roasted sesame seeds here. I'm just going to sprinkle some of them. Okay, there you go. Now we will take this and I'm going to flip it over so that the seaweed is on top now. And then we'll begin making the sushi. So in this case, we'll start with a strip of the imitation crab, and you might need a little more, not long enough, so you want the ingredients to come all the way out to the edge, and then a few strips of the cucumber, and then the slices of avocado. Now the avocado doesn't have to come out all the way to the edge, because when you roll it, some of that's going to kind of seep out a little bit probably, so you probably don't need the avocado all the way to the edge. That usually squeezes a little. And the lady who taught me was a friend of my grandmother's named Mrs. Sato, and when she taught me, she had learned from a sushi chef, and he sprinkled ajinomoto, that's a MSG, and nowadays we tend not to use that, so I'm not going to do that. But you can put a little salt if you feel it's lacking in seasoning. Now we just take this end and you want to roll the sushi all the way over the ingredients and press down. And this is when you kind of form the roll, okay? And then you just go all the way to the end and you want to press down again and try to get that nice round shape. And there you have it. There is one roll of your California roll. Now let's do one more, and I'm going to show you with the crab that's been kind of almost like a crab salad with the mayonnaise. So again, with the rice, come in with the rice. And yeah, just loosely spread the rice across and try to keep it even. You don't want one area too much thicker than the other, etc., etc. And it takes practice like anything else. Now, as I said, you can use real crab meat. You can use little shrimp, little bay shrimp chopped up with some of the mayonnaise. There's a lot of variations you could use when you make the California roll. And we're going to just come in with a little more sesame seeds. And some people use fish eggs, that's another way. You can dress up your California roll. There's a lot of different variations once you learn how to roll the actual sushi. You can, there's a lot of different variations you can play with. Now, in this case, I'm going to start with the cucumber. That's going to kind of act as our little base here. A couple of strips of the cucumber. And then we take this crab mixture and kind of bring it up across, and you want to kind of pinch it. You don't want it to be too loose, so you want to just bring the mixture together in a row so that it has a nice even look to it. And then we're going to add again our avocado slices. And here we go, rolling again. Lift up and get over all the ingredients. If you don't get all the way over the ingredients, the sushi will not seal. So it's a very important step for the sushi to seal. And the other thing is having the rice all the way over. In this case, I was missing a little rice, and so that's why the nori shows through a little. But there you have roll 2. Okay, now that we have the rolls, I'm going to show you how we would slice them. And basically, you would slice them into 6 pieces. The regular other types of Japanese sushi you would slice into 8, but California roll we slice into 6. And you don't want to, you want to just make clean cuts, and if you have to rinse the knife in between, that's probably a good idea so the rice doesn't stick. Now we have our slices. I've got a little serving plate here, and we'll just take our rolls and arrange them as such. And you can serve this with, you know, ginger and wasabi, and there you have it. There is your California roll. So we've made the California rolls for you today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to taste it for you. As you can see, there's the California roll. And there's a little bit of crunchiness from the cucumber, and you get the creaminess of the avocado and the imitation crab, and it's really a delicious bite. So I hope you don't feel daunted anymore to make sushi. It's actually quite easy. And I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you'll be back when we have other recipes from Derek's Easy Home Cooking.